Thank you for the grounding. And now let's get into some of these questions. This year has taken a mental toll on many.
Yeah.
From your perspective, what holistic methods can individuals use to recenter themselves and stay prepared for forces beyond their control?
The first thing we can do is learn about our bodies and what we can take personal responsibility for. You know, the vision and the mission of the Holistic Training Institute that I founded over 20 years ago was to train healers in every home. And again, those roots that were started so long ago, our original method of healing was for people to take care of themselves and their villages, their families. There was healers in every community. And even when I was coming up, it wasn't just my mother, but it was other people in the community that knew what to do if something happened. Okay, I mean, short of something traumatic like getting hit by an automobile or getting shot by a gun or something like that. But we got away from so much of that for modern convenience, for something that we may have thought is newer or better. And the answer is really going back to the root of our roots, understanding our bodies, understanding nature, understanding what builds us up and what tears us down.
So with that, can you give a little bit of a relationship for the physical empowering the mental?
Yeah, you can't have good mental health unless you have physical health. Many of the problems that we see, many of the challenges, many of the stresses that you're talking about earlier are because we're not utilizing our bodies. We're not feeding our bodies like they need to be fed, and we're not utilizing our bodies the way they need to be used. Okay. If you look at sports and especially sports, we're excelling in everything. Basketball, football, track and field, and all types of things wouldn't be the same without people of Africa, without Black folks. Okay. And we're relatively stagnant in Detroit and in society. Our health outcomes, we're African Americans in Detroit have a life expectancy 10 years less than whites. Why is that? Why would the strongest people that came to the Americas be the sickest, get the sickest soonest, and die faster? We're out of our environment. One, we're homesick because this isn't our natural environment, and then two, we haven't really adapted. We drink more Cavassier here than any place else in the world, right? It's what we're eating, what we're drinking, what we're not doing with our bodies. It's the choices that we make. We want to look good, and we prioritize that over feeling good. Okay, and the ways that we choose to feel good are not good for us.
In moments of struggle, confusion, or loss, how do you maintain your commitment to a holistic lifestyle? And what practices have proven most helpful for your own healing journey?
Okay. Plant-based diet. Plant-based diet. If it comes from a plant, I eat it. If it's processed in a plant, I avoid it. Most of what we eat, the standard American diet, the African American diet, is processed, is sugar. It's not food. And so it's killing us, but we're somehow okay with that. Our culture, what's supported, what's encouraged is eating more, drink more. Soon we're going to have a new year. And what are people going to do? They're going to go home, they're going to drink, and they're going to smoke and do all these things. And the same things they do on January 1st, the same things they're going to do on probably most weekends for the rest of the year. And some people during the week. And it's killing us. So what do? One, I'm in the gym or outside running practically every day, 6, sometimes 7 days a week. Okay. We can move a lot more than we do. And that's going to decrease the mental stress. And for example, so when I run, the more active I am, I can't do that other stuff. I can't fuel on alcohol and perform the way that I do. I run marathon. You probably know I run marathons, half marathons. I started at 51, and I'm faster at 68 than I was at 51. Okay, but the belief is that we're getting old. Okay, you're 30 years old and 40 years old, and that's old in middle age, and we have the expectation that people are not going to perform as they mature, instead of just looking at it as maturing and realizing that the body is the only machine that gets better with use, not worse. So we're using it worse. We take better care. We know more about our cars and how to take care of our homes and our clothes than we do our bodies. Mm-hmm. And that's the mistake. We're not investing in health. We're putting our money in all types of other things. If we're going to create, it's one thing to create what we say is generational wealth. We need to create generational health. We need to do something that's going to impact future generations. Our young people are getting sicker sooner. We have the rates of diabetes and obesity and heart disease is starting much younger, and abuse of all types of things.
So with that, another asset that's definitely clear, near, and dear to Detroiter is water. Right?
Absolutely.
Water scarcity and pollution affect overall wellness.
Yeah.
Definitely the campaign for water affordability. Shout out to We the People.
Yeah.
Water for everybody.
Yeah.
How can communities rally together to ensure clean water access for everyone? And why do you see this as a crucial step in holistic health?
Well, water is essential. Next to air, water is our most valuable nutrient, and water is part and parcel to all the plant life and everything that we consume. Okay, so water is fundamental. I don't know that I have the answer for how do we ensure water
is accessible and affordable.
Yeah, the accessibility. I don't know that I have those answers. But I believe that one answer is that one, we recognize it as being important and essential. If you ask the average person, how much water do they drink? Okay. Now, if you ask people, is water important? They're going to say, yeah, right? I think universally they're going to say, yeah. If you ask them how much do they drink, they don't have a container like you do. Mm-hmm. They're probably they're not consuming it as they should. They're drinking all types of other things. So one, we have to see it as important. Two, then a priority. I mean, if we look at what we spend on water compared to what we spend on other things, we spend a lot more money on other stuff that isn't water. Okay, that has a small percentage of water in it than the other things. So I don't have all the answers, but we can do better individually, and then maybe something else will come out of that politically.
From your vantage point,
yeah,
in what ways have you seen the Black community embrace holistic health most strongly? Okay. And what makes those approaches so effective? Meaning that we have embraced certain aspects of this. And what is it? Okay. Why? What's that thought process?
Okay, 1987, when I started Detroit Holistic Center, my people told me it wasn't going to last. I was on Dexter Joy Road. Okay, in the hood. It's like, okay, you're in the hood. The business was here. You didn't, Black people aren't into colonics and all this sort of thing. And there was a part of me that was afraid because of that, because I was like, okay, I'm not, this is going to fail. I'm setting myself up for failure. But what happened is in 5 years, we outgrew that space. And then probably tripled it. Yeah, at least triple that on Grand River over the next 27 years. Okay. So we are ready, willing, and able to embrace health and wellness. Is just It needs to be taught. We need to, I say, preserve, protect, promote, and pass it along.
So now I guess I got to get a little bit more specific. During
Okay.
that time at the Institute, when it was a physical space, what were the products? What were the
Okay.
trainings? What did people often connect with most that got them in as a gateway?
Okay. Well, weight loss and cleansing. That was at the essence of what we were doing. A lot of colon hydrotherapy, or people would say colonics. People could fundamentally understand that of all the things that we're doing, they weren't good for our bodies. We needed to undo some of that. And there's a lot of constipation, a lot of digestive problems in our community. So one, the colon hydrotherapy above all else, we had other services as well. Products that help to cleanse our blood, liver, kidneys, etc. Some herbal products primarily.
And what do
Yeah.
you think it was about those cleanses that connected most?
Oh, because people felt, most people will feel better immediately, and other people will feel better gradually over time.
Mm.
One of the fundamental problems in our society is we're not just sick, we're being poisoned. And unless you detoxify, unless you get the poisons out, so it's at least a twofold process. And that's one, when people are going through a cleanse, they're not putting more poisons in. And secondly, they're getting poisons out. So when people end up detoxifying and saying, I think more clearly, I see more clearly, I have more energy, my sexual stamina is better, my body is slimmer, so when people are looking better, feeling better, performing better, when things in their life start to change and even their attitude and perspective changes, because partly because they make that personal choice, and the other is because they're going through a process and they're being guided through a process, then there's something dynamic that really happens there. It's a different type of baptism. It's a transformation that occurs, and utilizing water. The people who went through the program, the people who would really take it on, got great benefits.